not the brightest man in the world, all right? But I never pledged allegiance to any democracy. And I never understood what they were talking about. Because when I read the philosophers, Montesquieu, Rousseau, Voltaire, the Enlightenment thinkers, when I read Plato and Aristotle, when I read all of these great minds and everything, I see that they nowhere discuss democracy in any sense that we know it today. Democracy is vox populi, vox dei. The will of the people is God, right? 51 people vote on a question out of 100. It's law. Now, they can change their mind the next day and vote the other way, and that becomes just as valid a law as it was the first day. Now, wait a minute. Rights, privileges, what's the difference? Very simply, rights come from God, privileges come from man. Choose this day whom he will serve. When I came out and said good evening and greetings to the resident alien subject slaves, I didn't intend it to be humorous. And he says, wait a minute, wait to hold it, and he jumps up off the couch and goes running outside and runs out to my truck, my van, and sticks bound behind it. And he says, you ain't got no license plates on your truck, John. And I said, really? I didn't know that. John, your vehicle, it's not registered? And I said, no, I have quiet title on all my property. I'm a citizen at law. The God of Scripture is my authority. What are you trying to tell me, John? And I said, what I'm trying to tell you, partner, is that you've opted for benefits, privileges, and opportunities instead of rights that come from God.
John Quade. Never knew that he was into that stuff. A friend of mine sent a YouTube video of his the other day, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, man, it's just brilliant. And I didn't know he was into that stuff. The only thing I remember John Quade from was a couple of Clint Eastwood movies. They were really good as well. He was really good in them. Shola, Any Which Way But Loose, Any Which Way You Can. And he was really funny in them. Like, I never would have thought that he was into all the stuff with common law, and not even only into it, he was living it. Same as Paul Unslaved. There's not much difference between him and Paul. He's speaking the same things in obviously in his own kind of way, but it's the same thing. And so I'm gonna put the link down in the description and check him out, because he's really interesting. The talk was really interesting. It goes on for about 50 odd minutes, but the way he links it with religion and with scripture is brilliant. The way he does it is brilliant, and you can kind of make it very, very clear in your head exactly what they've done. Like I've said, it is the devil's realm, because they've taken us out of God's law. We've helped them, of course, with our laziness, but it's not completely, this has been going on for so long, even way before we were born. These motherfuckers have been playing their little sneaky games, to entrap us in heart and mind, and so we have no balls and we have no courage. Every single day I try and do something now where I'm taking a risk, or I'm talking to someone, or I'm kind of like making a fool of myself, or putting myself in a situation where I get even embarrassed or whatever, and then just observe it. Because I'm sick of being a fucking, just walking around as if I'm kind of like, like you're afraid to do this and afraid to do that. Talk to people. Why not? Even if they think you're crazy or whatever, or just whatever, because at the end of the day, man, we are robotic. We've been taught this way. And like I said, it's heart and mind control. That's how they got us. They put us into that through all these little ways, all these little fork-tongued, sneaky ways they've done it. If you just think of that word even as well, right? It's such a big word when you think about it. Even just take that one word, submit. Submit your will to us. They could have chosen another word, right? No, but they have to tell you. They know a certain secret that we don't know. They have to tell us. So we're kind of like, that we're involved in it. So we're fooling ourselves. It's right there, right in front of you. So they're using all these magic words. They're doing all this kind of stuff, to keep us away from the truth. And I thought about it a few times. Like, am I doing anything to do with, like, am I going to change my status and stuff like that? There's a bit of fear in me, extra fear in me of doing certain things with, taking plates off and stuff like that. And I'm not even sure if I really want to either. Like at the moment, I know it's coming at some point, maybe. Will I change my status? Maybe a little bit later on. I don't know. But it's very hard when you're in the system, when you're working in a job and you're kind of in it. And it's just awkward because they've made it so convenient for us at the same time, but they are robbing everything from us. And the most important thing, I don't give a fuck even that they're robbing us. That pisses me off, but it's still at the same time, we allowed it. And what pisses me off more though, is that they've done this thing where they're actually taking our life, they're taking our life away from us without us fucking knowing. And it pisses me off, dude. And who do we go to? Who do we go to kind of like, well, we can't blame anyone. Because the bottom line is we're allowing it. We're allowing it. And most people are so brainwashed and they think that they're alive. I see people walking around, man, and especially over the last while, because I kind of like have freed myself, or I haven't done it, but I've been freed in heart and mind more so over the last couple of years than ever, right? So when I look around and I just see we are our own slave drivers. We are putting ourselves in that box every day ourselves, but these motherfuckers are edging us in. They're helping us in. So they have violated God's law by putting us into a corporate capacity. Like I said, this is the devil's realm. It's operated by the devil. And it has our fellow man and woman operating, not even knowing what we're doing, that we're doing it against everyone. No one has the right to go near anyone or bother anyone. And if you're bothering someone and they say no problem, okay, I won't bother you again. And that's cool, dude. That's the way it should be, And so, just even to go through a couple of the lines there that he was saying, man is serving man. I wrote this on the screen. Man is serving man, not the source that created man / woman, right? So why are we serving man? It's like me serving myself. What a bozo I am, Why? It's just nonsense, dude. It's, me-itis all the time. Mr. Me. It doesn't even fucking exist anyway. It's just an ego figment in your own fucking mind. You don't even exist the way you think you exist anyway. It's a fucking joke. Me, what do you think of me? Go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Fuck you and your life. Anyway, democracy. They put us into this. It's a republic. America's a republic. Ireland's a republic. All right. Where did this come from? You see, they just keep choosing words. Demon crazy. Demo crazy. Demon crazy. The will of the people is God. We're not God, dude. We are an offshoot, a snippet of the whole, but we're not. Okay. There's a higher energy than us. We are a part of it, but we are not God. All right. So, but you can call us gods at the same time though, because we are a part of it, but we're not the God, right? So kind of like, so they've done it in the most sneakiest, dirty, filthy, revolting little corporate bullshitter fucking, ugh. It makes me sick sometimes when I think about it. But at the same time though, even though I can rant and rave and ramble and all the rest of it, I don't really want to go into a negative state about everything because we can't come at it from that point of view. I can express it here a tiny bit and whatever, but like at the end of the day, right? I think we've got to know about this stuff and make plans for it. It's not going to happen overnight. That's why I support Paul, because we should be supporting people that are fucking real. That are taking chances. I can't stand it when people fucking start going on a Paul all the time. I can't stand it, man. Not that I'm negative even about them, but it's just something inside me that goes, you fucking twit. Like, why are you having a go at that guy? And oh man, it just really fucking gets under my skin sometimes. It really pisses me off. Like, they don't even know who he is or what he is. I mean, like, for fuck's sake, I go there to learn. I'm not gonna go there and say, oh, I know everything. What a bozo I would be. I don't know anything that guy knows, because he's living it. All right. So anyway, yeah. So like even this, there's kind of like, to sum this up in scripture, Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. So you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and mammon. Okay. Another way of saying it, you can't serve corporation and the creator at the same time. It's at odds. Choose one or the other. See, and they've got us to choose corporation, which is like in the Omen 3 film, the final conflict. They got him into a political position, remember? Damien in the third Omen film, which was a lot of crap actually, with Sam Neill. But they got him to see he was a public figure. He was a politician, corporation. So the devil is using corporation, corpse, dead entity, dead fiction, right? So, and plus as well, they put us into the contractual obligation scenario, but it's null and void anyway. We have to be 18 to sign a contract. We didn't sign it either. And there was not even full disclosure for our mother and father in the beginning when they signed it. All right, they didn't say that once you register your child that you're going to give over the jurisdiction over to corporation. So it's null and void. There was not full disclosure, right? So, but this is how they're doing it. It's very clear in my mind now how they're doing it, what they've done. Another thing that pops into my head, and just to segue back to what I was saying a second ago as well, I'm not really annoyed about the whole thing. It's important to release yourself from heart and mind first. That's what I'm trying to do the best that I can. That's where the battle has to be fought originally at the start. Because if we don't do that, then we're gonna react wrong to everything. Heart and mind has to come first. Remember that. Freeing yourself from heart and mind has to come first. And to segue back to what I was saying in a previous, I think it was the last talk, don't be making enemies out of people. Okay, if they attack you and all the rest of it and they do something wrong, they have to deal with that. If they're rude, they have to deal with that. Okay, don't make it your problem. It is not your problem. As long as you have goodwill towards people, you can say pretty much what you want to them because it's going to be goodwill behind it anyway, right? What does it matter what word that you choose when you have goodwill towards them, right? So to be free from heart and mind, it means that you can't be making enemies out of anyone. You can't really be having hate in your heart for anyone. You can get frustrated and annoyed with them a little bit because they're acting like bozos, but we're not going to free ourselves from heart and mind. Like, keep fucking repeating this to my dozy ass self and your dozy ass self. We have to have goodwill towards people, our fellow man and woman. We have to have that, and we have to have this ability, develop it, of not making enemies out of anyone. No one. That doesn't mean we get them away with anything. It doesn't mean that we don't speak harshly sometimes, like Paul and Wizard do. But them dizzy-ass motherfuckers on the panel don't know what they're doing. Fucking idiots. There's a difference. It doesn't make any difference. They don't hate anyone. Okay? They're not making enemies out of anyone. They're trying to get people on the same playing field so we can do some fucking thing. But these fucking idiots don't understand that. They're going with their own ego like, oh, I know what... You don't know nothing, dude. Okay? If you're not living it, you don't know shit. You shut the fuck up. And that's what I'm trying to say. It sounded angry, right? It's not. We can't be making enemies out of people. Okay? Now, we could return this world if enough of us started to free ourselves from heart and mind first and then see where it goes. All right? But that's what we have to do first, as far as I can see. So anyway, and I'm rambling on again. I get into a little bit of a flow space every now and then. If you notice when I'm talking sometimes as well, I can go into a flow state and then come out of it. That happens all the time. Okay? Because I'm trying to operate without Shane there, that prick, all right, that fucks everything up, right? All right, so check out John Quade. I listened to his talk a couple of times, and what a speaker. Great, funny, witty, and a way to pull you into the way he's talking. So check it out and enjoy. Adios.